I had this really memorable experience when I was just entering university, and I want to share it with you because it became part of an important lesson for me. Probably in the first week of my career at university, I was wandering through the basement of the biology building, and I passed an open laboratory door. And I saw inside, against one wall, a set of aquariums, fish tanks. And having been a bit of a tropical fish fancier when I was a kid, I walked in to take a look. Well, within the lab there was a professor sitting at his desk working away, and we struck up a conversation. I asked him, and he spoke a little bit about his research on fish. So, showing off my vocabulary, I said, "Oh, you're an ichthyologist, a fish scientist." And he gave a reply which I will never forget, and I think it was completely spontaneous. He said, "No, that implies a level of expertise which I do not possess." Well, it didn't take long at university to discover that, in fact, he was a renowned scientist. But like a lot of good scientists that I've been lucky enough to meet over my career, he just didn't have the need or the inclination to talk about how great he was or how great his research was. In fact, as I look back over what's becoming rather a lengthy career, I don't think I've ever met a truly smart person who referred to themselves as an expert. And I mention that now because whenever I meet someone who refers to themselves as an expert, alarm bells go off for me. And that's my introduction to a little editorial on people who refer to themselves as skeptics, people who think that they are smart enough to criticize the ideas of others. Now, there may have been a time when skepticism was a respectable activity, but not today. If you take a look at YouTube or you wander around the blogosphere, you see that most of the people who hold themselves out as skeptics are not the best examples of thinkers. They tend to be former magicians and scientist wannabes, kids who got graduate degrees in science but were never good enough to make a career for themselves in science. And so these sore losers salve their emotional wounds by running down others. Benjamin Franklin, who had all sorts of pithy sayings, said that any damn fool can criticize, and most fools do. In fact, with complex ideas, it's probably easier to find fault than to find what is right and then build on that and improve it. Especially when dealing with older theories that are reaching their best before date, it seems to me to be rather mean-spirited to just look for faults. I mean, after 300 years, the guys who developed quantum physics found shortcomings in Newton's laws of motion, but they didn't go around bragging about it. Rather, they took what he had developed and built upon it. The distinction between skeptics and real scientists is especially important for students. Skeptics tend to be more entertaining. It's part of their shtick, and so they tend to attract the young and the impressionable. Your time is worth more than that. Remember what Benjamin Franklin said, "Any damn fool can criticize." Cheers.